This is Valley News Live at 10.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. Moorhead police say they were led on a high-speed chase after a 28-year-old driver fled during an attempted traffic stop. Authorities say they were called shortly after 8:15 a.m. this morning for a report of a motorist slumped over the steering wheel of a vehicle while stopped at a traffic light. Moorhead PD officers tried to make a traffic stop out of the suspicion that the driver was under the influence. The driver then fled at a high rate of speed, leading them on a pursuit before running off the road along 34th Street. And the driver became pinned inside the vehicle. Emergency crews were able to pull him out and he was taken to a local hospital. The man now faces multiple charges, including DWI and fleeing in a motor vehicle.
Had it happened back here, I don't know if I would have made it. I lost a lot of blood that day.
After being attacked near her home back in October, a Moorhead resident is now speaking out about her concerns for her safety and others in the neighborhood. Valley News Team's Alex Larson spoke with the woman about her worries.
There's just too much crime in this small vicinity to do anything.
April Martinez moved to the Moorhead area 3 years ago. She says crime in her neighborhood has been on the upswing for almost a year, leaving her and her neighbors scared to live their day-to-day lives.
There's a lot. It's daily. There's something new daily, if not more often than that, and it's never ending.
Back in October, Martinez was approached by a man while watching her dog play.
He proceeded to yell at me and advance towards me, wanting to know where his drugs were at.
Martinez ran with her dog to the Holiday gas station. She and some employees called the police. While waiting for help, another man came up to Martinez outside the gas station and hit her in the head with a brick.
A blood-curdling scream came out of me that I've never, ever done in my life. The pain, the rage, the pain was white-hot fire pain. And the blood was just gushing out of my head faster than a garden hose. Thankfully, the cops were right there, because had it happened back here, I don't know if I would have made it. I lost a lot of blood that day.
Police arrested the man who fractured Martinez's skull, but she says the first man who approached her has not been found. Martinez told us she's concerned for the safety of herself, her neighbors, and employees of the Holiday gas station.
These employees are hardworking, they have their families, they deserve better.
She says she believes one way to help minimize some of the crime in the area is to have more police patrol in the neighborhood. Alex Larson, Valley News Live.
Martinez told us she may never know the real extent of her injuries from the attack. 3 people are dead after a shooting last night at a casino near the border of Montana and North Dakota. The suspected shooter is among the dead in the slaying at the State Line Casino in Bainville, Montana. Deputies say they responded to the shooting at about 5:30 p.m. and found 3 people dead when they arrived. The Roosevelt County Sheriff's Office says the shooting at the casino appears to have been a double murder-suicide. Authorities say all 3 people knew each other and no bystanders were injured. The investigation remains active at this time. Tonight, a 57-year-old man is recovering from his injuries after getting trapped under his vehicle in rural Climax, Minnesota, which is about 20 miles south of Crookston. Authorities say they were dispatched to the single vehicle rollover crash that happened at the intersection of 340th Avenue and 390th Street. The man was pulled from under the vehicle and he was later transported to a hospital in Fargo. The cause of the crash is still unknown as the investigation is ongoing. A man is facing driving under the influence and vehicular manslaughter charges for his involvement in a head-on collision near Williston that killed a woman and a child. The North Dakota Highway Patrol said the 52-year-old Williston man was driving the wrong way in the westbound lanes of Highway 2 when his pickup collided with the woman's vehicle around 8 p.m. last night. The 44-year-old woman and a 7-year-old girl, both from Williston, died at the scene. A 27-year-old man from Georgia was a passenger in that vehicle at the time. He suffered serious injuries. Deputies say the driver of the pickup sustained non-life-threatening injuries. A third vehicle was struck by debris from the crash, but the driver was not harmed. The search continues for missing 18-year-old Bismarck High School student Chase Hurdle. His family says they have put up dozens of missing posters throughout the area, hoping to find their son. Chase's father, Darius, spoke publicly for the first time since his son's disappearance on November 2nd. Darius says Chase is a straight-A student who couldn't wait to graduate. However, he says his son began developing some signs of depression earlier this year. And after being missing for nearly a week, the family is now offering a $5,000 to $10,000 reward for information that leads to finding Chase.
Be it good news or bad news, I want to find my son. Please help him. Help us locate my son, Chase Hurdle. I appreciate all your help.
Surveillance video from the high school shows Hurdle wearing plastic framed glasses, a blue long sleeve shirt and blue jeans while leaving the building on Tuesday morning. He was last seen around 9:45 a.m. that day near Memorial Bridge in Bismarck. Anyone with information is asked to call the Bismarck Police Department at 701-223-1212. A local thrift store was broken into last night after employees closed up for the day. Leadership for the store say money and tools were taken. Valley News Team's Aaron Walling has more on how this is a setback for the store that is built on helping others.
The St. Francis thrift store behind me was broken into last night after they closed, with money and tools stolen.
Got into the store and saw that they had pretty much left the store intact, but broke through the doors of the two offices we have and ransacked our till and took the receipts from the Saturday Unite sale, totaling somewhere in the neighborhood of about $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 in sales.
Inside the St. Francis thrift store on First Avenue South, a door has been busted open. Behind the counter, the cash register has been ripped apart, leaving coins and plastic on the ground. Tools stolen and a door frame broken off. While doors can be fixed, it's the financial hit that is impacting the store the most in trying to help others.
We help a lot of people with outreach, and we were going to do that this week with trying to help people with their utilities and their rent. Well, this now means that we're not going to be able to do that.
According to George Locker, the past couple of months have been rough for them at the St. Francis thrift store. Gas being siphoned from a car and tires being slashed are among the issues they've seen.
Like we said, people that come here, if they come in and they need something bad enough, we'll give it to them. They don't have to steal it, so. But people are people, and I guess things happen that happen.
As one employee tells me, in all of his 13 years, he's never seen this place broken into. In Fargo, Aaron Walling, Valley News Live.
Tomorrow, a public hearing is being held to allow for more discussion on new redistricting options that are being proposed for Cass County. County officials say every 10 years, districts must be redrawn so that they are equal in population, and county commissioners represent the same number of constituents. The meeting begins at 9 a.m. tomorrow at the Cass County Courthouse. After nearly 2 years, the United States will be back open to vaccinated international travelers starting tomorrow. The U.S. is lifting a pandemic travel ban on international visitors from more than 30 countries who are shut out for 20 months. International visitors will need to show proof of vaccination and a recent negative COVID test with some exemptions. The home of the Iraqi prime minister was hit by rocket fire in an apparent assassination attempt in Baghdad early this morning. Iraqi officials say the prime minister was not harmed during the attack, but a few guards at the residence were wounded. 3 armed drones were used in the attack. 2 were intercepted by security forces, while a third made contact with the home. It damaged a parked vehicle outside and caused minor damage to the house. It is still unclear who may have carried out the attack. Later on Valley News Live at 10, it may cost you more to heat your home this winter. We'll tell you why coming up next. And we have a few more days with temps in the 50s, but that is expected to change later in the week. Summer's next.